today this video is going to be about something completely different. I still wanted to do a continuation of my chronology in terms of the gang stalking that's been happening in my life, the cyber stalking, harassing, the harassment, terror, the domestic terrorism carried out by our U.S. government, the Stasi program, the COINTEL program. It exists. It is not fake. It is not in just the minds of someone who's mentally ill. That's what they want you to believe. In fact, anyone that you see that it has been discounted as someone who's mentally ill and they are telling you something that seems outlandish, but yet they themselves seem very credible, that they're probably telling you the truth. So, but this video is going to be about something else. Today, I've basically reached a different level of a different plateau of what I want to do. And what I mean by that is, in that television series called Mr. Robot, there's a scene. I mean, the last time I watched it was years ago, but there was a scene where this crazy woman says, what does she want when she's talking to her husband about someone that they're trying to manipulate or get rid of, and the husband doesn't know, and she says you need to know what they want. And then something happens, and some episodes later she says something like, well, at least we know what she wants, meaning as now that she knows, they know how to tackle her and destroy her and bring her down. And there was something about that scene that really hit home with me because a lot of times you don't know what people want, right? After this entire gang stalking incident has happened, I think I know what most people want, and I know what I wanted. It really it definitely made me take a hard look at what I wanted, and it's no matter what, it's something that it's just innate in me, and that's to work, be successful at entrepreneurism. And what I mean by that was, just being my own boss, creating products that I have thought of that would be an improvement upon the original, or maybe something that doesn't exist at all. I've always thought this way ever since I was a little kid. When I was 15 or 16, I knew I was going to be a millionaire. I don't know if that's what typical 15-year-olds think. I don't know. But it was like, it's hard to describe except for saying that I just knew I would be. And that it was not a question of if it was going to happen, it was when. And, and of course, I'm a targeted individual, and I've been targeted since, at least I've been told I've been targeted since birth, and it's generational. It's been happening in my entire life. That's been said to me many, 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 many times through the perpetrator or perp profiles on Twitter and all social media, that this has been happening to me for life. So, given that that's the case, I never really had a chance to carry out my own destiny, if you believe in that. I don't believe in destiny, but I my own carry out my own will to make that happen. Because if you've listened to any of my other ranting videos, which I don't blame you if you have not listened to it, because I could barely listen to myself again. Um, Creating your own destiny and becoming successful naturally and seren- through serendipity is not possible anymore. I mentioned in my other videos that, it's sort of like Westworld, where the main character, the female android, talks to the guy that was in Breaking Bad. I forget these names, I'm sorry. But she tells him that you can't control your own destiny anymore. They take it away from you because they deem you unworthy, or someone who's not of social value. Um, and so to give you an example, if you're born to a poor family with not a lot of status and quote unquote bloodlines that matter, which is absolute ridiculous BS, as if bloodlines make you better than someone else. It does not. And if you do think that, then you are so deluded and so lost that I pity you. I really do. You're a subhuman, indoctrinated, kind of a broken person. But that's the kind of idea in the show Westworld, where she tells him that, and that's kind of like what all people are subjected to now. If you're deemed unworthy by this white, racist, imperialistic, jingoistic, psychopathic, pathological, ruling class, then forget it. It doesn't matter even if you have the grit, the smarts, the perseverance, the ingenuity, then you're not going to be allowed to succeed. And that's me. I have all of those qualities. I'm not perfect. I do come from a poor family, and I do come from a family with a dad that's kind of cuckoo. He's got like he's on the spectrum of some, I don't know what it is, autism or Asperger's, but I do believe he was also abused somehow through the army. He was in the U.S. Army, and I think his mind was also experimented on. Something happened. I don't know what, but I do believe something happened to him, and that somehow we were either chosen or we were just deemed unworthy immediately from the outset. Um, so I've always wanted. However, with that being said, there are some. There's it's who I am is very convoluted because of the fact that it's been so molested, so destroyed, so my path has been diverged into so many different other paths because of their interference and because of your interference, you maggots, destroying my life, doing things to change the course of the direction of my life in so many ways. But through all of it, there has been certain themes that are similar. The other thing, those other qualities that I mentioned, ingenuity, unwavering perseverance and grit, a relatively above average intellect, not a high intellect, but above average. Um, but through it all, I've also had this insatiable ambition and the knowledge that no matter what I put my mind to, or how what I want, as long as I apply myself, I can get it done. And I've proved that time and time and time again with the gang stalking, with the boot, the racist, imperialistic boot on my neck, and chauvinistic and misogynistic boot on my neck. I've proven it over and over again. So I know what I want, and I don't want that anymore. And I was just sitting there on the bed, and I was thinking, I'm going to try to change what I want, because the gang stalking and the technology and these maggots, these little boys, these insecure, broken, empty, black-hearted, damaged goods men who are trying to control me, and it is mostly men. I'm sure there's some women peppered in there as well who are just as evil, blah blah blah, but it's mostly men. And they have been controlling my life ever since I was a little kid, and I've been just decided, I don't want to live without liberty and freedom. There's no way I will ever live without that, unless the technology can take over my mind 100%. Like, I don't even know, I can't find an analogy in television or popular culture. Unless they can literally turn on a button and make me, not me, 100%. I'm never going to be happy. As a matter of fact, let me put it this way: if I ever seem happy, or if I ever seem content, or for some reason have come out of this with like some small Amazon business or some small, affiliate online business, and am living somewhere alone and solitary and with a cat or a dog and animals, mildly successful, nothing over the top, say a $200,000, $300,000 home, making less than six figures, say 80,000. If I'm ever living like that and I seem happy and content, that's not going to be me. That will never be me. Ever. Ever be me. That is some other version of me that has been compartmentalized and twisted and turned around. And the purpose of this video is, for 9 months, 8 months, however long this has been going on since November of 2019, I have said continuously, it has been like one of the main quotes, utterings, adages that I've said over and over, that has naturally come out due to the confusion of me being an empath and not understanding you, the maggot, the cockroach, the subhuman, defective, damaged goods person that you are. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with you. How can you do this to other people? How can you hurt innocent people? How can you allow the men in this network to take advantage of women by raping them, by breaking into their home and raping them in their sleep with technology, by drugging them, by trying to bed them, by sexually assaulting them with electronic weapons, by taunting them about how they rape you, which, by the way, they've done everything that I've just mentioned right now has happened to me. I just recently had some taunting via V2K, via whatever their technology is. I've put the patents in video, my introductory video description boxes, so you can check them out. I don't care if you believe me or not. I don't think any layperson's ever going to listen to this video anyway. But it has happened to me, and worse. They murdered my mother, murdered all my pets, just everything you can imagine. I do believe they have actually even steered me to away from a lucrative a career in retail management, which is what I was doing when I was much younger, and I was doing wonderfully at it, as a matter of fact. And then all of a sudden, like a switch, that all fell apart. Um, and I started, becoming very promiscuous, which I'm not a promiscuous person, but I think based on all the things that have been said to me via social media and the taunting with the raping and the sexual assault, I think the technology is abused by men to bed women beyond their comprehension. They don't know that that's happening. And if you don't think that your boyfriend's husband's sons fathers are doing this, you're a ridiculous person. Especially if you're in this network and you know what these men are capable of, and you know what you're capable of, and you know what you've seen, and you've seen the sickness all around you, that black sludge, hateful, homicidal, sociopathic, malignant narcissism all around you. And I know you know what I mean. And so, I've always uttered that. What's wrong with these people? Actually, that's not what I would utter. What I would say on a consistent basis is, what's wrong? There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with you. That's it. There's something wrong with you. And I'd always say it, and when I say it, it was always like this confusion as to like, why, how could you do things like this? How could you just live with yourself? How can you look in the mirror? Have you have no shame? And I always say, you're defective. You're not human. You're subhuman. You're not, it's hard for me to say and call you anything that's normal, like a human being or a person. It doesn't feel natural. I have to call you something that you're not, which is, you're not human, regular human beings. And I don't think you're aliens. I'm sorry, but those kinds of manipulations didn't work on me. Try someone else, more superstitious than I am, because I'm not an idiot. So I'm trying to figure out what it is. But as time has gone by, about 3 months ago, I'd say about 3 months ago. I mean, I'm trying. It's not exact. And about 3 months before that, there was like these different stages that were happening with my emotions. And by the way, there is a video, a link that I shared in either introductory video 2 or 3, titled Justin Something's, Introduction to Gangstalking. And he kind of goes into this, and I really don't want to go into it, but he talks about how the technology, and Google patents also kind of delineate this as well, which is being able to control your emotions, being able to arouse you sexually, being able to make you nervous, being able to make you angry or tired, make you go to sleep. And so, of course, these technologies are kind of like touched on the periphery in these Google patents. The real classified technology is not shared, and the real classified technology is, as alluded to in that video, which is not the be all end all, but the one where Justin speaks to how the technology can control emotions, in the sense that it can compartmentalize guilt or anger or shame, and I'm sure can conversely make you feel shame, make you feel anger, and make you want to kill, or want to have sex, or want to feel maternal or caring. Whatever emotion, you name it, the technology can make you feel it. And so if you think for 1 second that this technology is only being used on targeted individuals and not on the maggot, the gang stalker, you must be out of your mind. And this is something that I've said before, that of course it's being used on you all, but I didn't connect the dots. And the connect the dots is this. I was laying in my bed tonight, and I'm wondering again, there's something wrong with you. And I was thinking that, and then I was also trying to rev myself up to not forget who I am, because I have begun to understand some months ago that I'm missing emotions. So let me just say that again. I just started realizing slowly but surely I am missing emotions. If you were the type of person that never knew yourself, if you were not the type of person, who just didn't know yourself. And as surprising as it is, it turns out I know myself pretty darn well. And or you know, if this is happening to you over a long period, over years, this is happening to you where they're removing your emotions and changing your emotions, changing how you react to things, then I could see how you might not be able to pick it up. But if you're an intelligent being involved in this network, who are not the pawns, who are not the minions at the bottom, the Mexicans, the Filipinos, the black people, who are at the very bottom. I'm sure there are some who are at the top too, mid range, upper range, kind of a little bit more intelligent, a little bit more educated. Um, those people at the mid-range, upper levels, who have some critical thinking skills, who have manipulation skills, who have some thought processes that actually they can make some deductions, things of that sort, must know at some level, and not just a subconscious level, at some level, that their emotions are being toyed with, manipulated, twisted, compartmentalized, removed. This is very hard to explain if you are a layperson. This will not make sense to you at all, and you will think I am a raving maniac. But that's not my audience here, is it? It's the perps. And as I'm sitting there in bed and I'm just thinking to myself, don't lose myself, I'm crying. I'm just thinking like, everything that's going on, all the torture, all the electronic torture, all this isolation, the constant noise campaigns, the constant scaring me with death threats, and the cop telling me not to say anything about the electronic torture, or the people in the backseat of my car who've told me that you don't even know who we are. You could see us on the street and you won't know who we are. Those have been my Lyft customers when I was driving Lyft, by the way, because I lost my job because they sabotaged my job. The woman telling me, well, the book isn't closed on you yet. The other Lyft customer who told me, I don't understand why people who nobody cares about don't die. He said that to me. I took out a police report with the Oakland police about gangstalking. I got nothing back. Just some weird website that sent me something that said, "Hey, we'll let you know when your Oakland police report is filed." They got nothing after that. This is not all in my head. This is happening, and what I've just mentioned is a fraction of what takes place. Um, you know, uh, it's and all this is happening, the electronic torture, the rape, the lies, the physical torture, the sexual torture, the destruction of my career, the isolation from friends and family, the murder of my mother. um, this causes so much trauma. There was a point in, I don't know when it was, December or November, when I woke up in the midst of this torture, and I started having like sort of a convulsing nervous breakdown. I've never felt anything like it. The only thing I can think of that was closest to it was when my mother was murdered and I found out. Um, I've never felt so much pain before, and that pain was different kind of pain, right? Like, since if you lose your child, or if you lose your the love of your life, or I don't know, just the love of your life, which was my mother. She was amazing, and it was something similar to that but different. And I just woke up convulsing, realizing the impact of what this gang stalking was, that I was targeted for some reason, and my whole life is destroyed, and I'm being physically tortured, and I'm being isolated, and everything's being taken away from me. My body literally just starts going into convulsions, and all of a sudden there's this voice in my head, and it's the V2K. And remember, I shared those Google patents where I'm telling you that they have technology where they can beam communication to you. And I know that sounds nutty. And it says, calm down, or something like to that effect, one word or two words, and I just shut off. The emotion literally almost seems like it wasn't there. It went from going 0 to 60, and then at 180 I was just completely quiet. That's not normal. And right when it happened, they beamed the image of Westworld, of Evan Rachel Wood, and how they were able to shut her down and from having emotion. Almost like it was like, hey, we can control you this way if we want to control you this way. And if they can control you that way, they can control and compartmentalize rage, anger, shame, guilt, compassion, kindness, having a conscience, all of that. You don't think that they could do that to me and they can do that to you. You don't think that your own people are doing that to you, someone higher up who recognizes that you might be feeling feelings of shame and guilt, and then eventually just kind of wean you off of being a human being, for that matter. Um, this is not for the layperson. This is for the maggot perp who, as I was laying in my bed, I realized it hit me like a ton of bricks. That's it. That is it. No wonder my gut, my intuition just kept screaming constantly, something's wrong with these people. Something's wrong with these maggots. Something's wrong with these cockroaches. These things, these degenerates, they're not human. I would say that all the time. They can't be human. How can they be human? And the reason why is it's starting to happen to me. I What I'm about to say is important. I know that I am missing emotion, and not missing emotion because I'm going numb from everything that's happening to me. That's different. I'm missing emotion. I don't have the anger and the rage and the shame and the utter, I can't, there's no adjective to describe the anger and the homicidal rage I had in me to kill these people that are doing this to me, and have for having destroyed my life, my entire life, all of my potential, and also violating my body on top of that, and also killing my mother, the person that's closest to me, which I've been told is something that's common that happens when you have a close connection and you're a targeted individual. They'll either kill that person or get rid of that person from your life. um, you don't, unless this has happened to you, you will never understand the pain and anger and rage that a person can feel. You cannot explain it. It certainly doesn't go away after a few months, for Pete's sake. And that is what has happened to me. As I'm talking about it right now, I feel nothing. And that is not normal. It just isn't normal, okay? I'm saying it, and I'm searching. I'm searching for the anger. I'm searching for the rage. I'm searching for the shame. I'm searching for any emotion that I used to feel just 2 or 3 months ago. It's completely gone, like in thin air. And I don't want it to be gone. As a matter of fact, I know they're taking it away from me, and I don't know what they want to do with me, but they have a plan for me: more torture, live until some sort of event happens. Something on Twitter. They knew about COVID. The perps knew about COVID. You guys knew about you maggots knew about COVID. Before it happened, they started tweeting about it in November of 2019 to me, about something big is coming, the world is going to change, this and this and that. And now, for a while now, they've been tweeting, you perps, you maggots, cockroaches have been tweeting the same thing about another event that's going to happen. You've been hinting at getting an evacuation kit ready, a backpack, suitcase, because something's coming. You've been alluding to the fact that there's going to be an earthquake, a very large earthquake, pointing to me to the movie 10.0 earthquake, deep impact, kind of movies like that. So I can only assume that you're going to create some sort of natural disaster, because, well, frankly, just for the tiny off chance that a layperson is listening to this, they can control weather, they can control earthquakes, they can control hurricanes, they can control all of that. And I know it seems, for the layperson, the 0.0001% chance that a layperson is listening to this, you're going to think I'm crazy, because you've been shielded from this your entire life. So has the vast majority of people on this planet. And so have I. And when I first started getting introduced to all of this information, it was gradual, done over many months, so that and proven, by the way, proven. So they'll introduce me to some wild fact that you can't even believe. If somebody even told you one fact that you would think this person's crazy, so they would do that, and then they would prove it. And so, the only thing I can tell you is, the point I'm trying to make is, just like me, where I'm sitting here and I realize they are compartmentalizing or stealing who I am, my emotion, my empathy, my care, C-A-R-E, capital C-A-R-E, my empathy, my care, my me, who I am. They're taking it away from me. I mean, I barely feel anything right now. I feel sadness a little bit, but this is not normal for me. It is not normal for any human being that's not a psychopath or a sociopath or a malignant narcissist to be this unemotional. It is not numbness. It has been gradually getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And they're working on me. They're, it's, like, it's just slow and sure. They're stealing away who I am and my fight. And I refuse to let it happen. I refuse to let it happen. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to fight against it with all my will. And the difference between you and me, you the maggot, you piece of shit, sellout, greedy, self-centered, black-hearted person that you are, is that you let it happen. Now more than ever, I believe in choice. I sit here and I'm fighting tooth and nail I want a breakdown. I want every piece of emotion that you've ever stolen from me, and just give it to me right now, and let me be a puddle, a mess on the ground. Let me freaking end it if I want to. Let me freaking jump off a cliff or scream my head off, or whatever. But that's what I want. I don't want the easy way out. I don't want my guilt and my shame and my anger and my rage to be taken and stripped away from me. I want to feel the pain. I want to feel my human emotions. And you should too. And you should too. And you knew on some level, all of you shameful, shameful people, that this was being done to you, and that it felt good not to feel guilt and shame for what you do to other people. You let it happen to you slowly. You made a choice every freaking day. It's not even the choice anymore where I said before, where you came down a road and then you had a choice to go left or right. You've had many choices where you know exactly what's happening to you, but they paid you, or they said you're secure, or that you're special and you're going to be protected whenever this mass event happens and COVID happens, and you've been prepared, and you have a lot of money. I've met a lot of you. You guys have shown yourself to me, and trying to, the idiot Francisco who tried to show me how much money he makes, and the idiot Junio who shows me how much money he makes, and you think that matters when I see right through to the core of you, and you're losers. Junio, who has a misdemeanor when he's 41, and Francisco, whose wife left him and his mask slipped and he became enraged. Or Aaron from Foster City, when I worked at the AI place, and he couldn't even get a girlfriend, let alone someone who would have his baby, so he had a secret affair with somebody at work to carry his child. To the woman who has cancer on her face, or the woman's son who was shot in New York, or everyone dying from, or their families. Your lives are a mess, and it's not from gang stalking. It is from natural karma, man. Your lives are a freaking mess from natural, hateful lives that you lead. And it's because you made a conscious decision and choice, knowing that your humanity was being stripped away from you inch by inch, that you should feel shame and guilt, and that you should make a good decision and the right decision to not become a part of this hateful mess that you're a part of. But you went the other direction day by day, year by year, and now look at you. That's why I kept saying there's something wrong with you, that you don't seem human. You can't be human because you're not human anymore, literally. Well, I can feel it happening to me. I see it happening to me, and I can feel the remnants of the real me screaming out to let me out and let me be me. And I am disgusted by you. You are repugnant, disgusting things. Humanity is ashamed of you. They don't know about you. Not everyone does, but if they did, we are all ashamed of you. Collectively, you don't deserve to live. You deserve to die. And you have so much blood on your hands. You're awash with blood. That blood is like a ocean of blood on you, and it's never going to wash off. And you carry it down, it carries on, and it lives through you to your progeny. and your generation after generation after generation for eternity, your your children and your children's children and your children's children's children, you guys are all washed in blood. And although I am an atheist and I don't believe in life after death, and I, if there is a way, I will find you. I will find you. And I'll leave you with that. I just, you aren't human, and I finally understand why you're not. And I'm going to fight with all my power to not let that happen to me. I mean, technology is technology. It's difficult to fight, but the real me would never live contently with scraps. I'm not going to live with scraps. And if you do see me living with scraps and content in some way, that is no longer me. It is a shadow of me, not even a shadow of me, something else.